It's Monday at Rift Dream Dimensions and we have an exciting new project. This is Kiwi and there's Lolly. And on Mondays from here on in, Lolly is going to be sharing her morphing genius with us and showing us fun projects for people out there. And I'm going to leave the show up to her, and along the way we'll just see how this goes. Everything we do at Rift Dream Dimensions is molded by our community, what they need, what they're up to. So if you have any ideas or would like to see certain things, let us know at riftdreamdimensions.com. And now I'm going to leave it up to Lolly. Hey Lolly!
Hey Kiwi! Hey guys! Today we are going to learn how to make a couch. Now this is my first video, so this is going to be a little interesting. So far right now I've just kind of built myself like a little platform, something cute and pretty. That way, you know, when I build a couch, you know, it looks like it's more like on a patio or a deck and not just stuck in the water. So here we go. In order to make one of my couches, we are going to take the burlap sacks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out one of them, and then I'm going to size it accordingly to the size that I want.
These
Now,
burlap sacks have been like popular throughout. They're so handy. They're about the only thing that we can make that has this plushness to it, right?
yes, and they are awesome. I love using the burlap sacks. They are definitely one of my favorites. And if you've ever been to some of my dimensions, Big Grubby Style on Lathis or Fairy Tavern on Greybriar, you will see my couches throughout both dimensions, and they're a big hit. So I thought I would share with you how I make them. Now, when I first start building anything, I always build it on the XYZ axis. I try not to go with the, you know, with the curves or anything else like that, and then I'll just readjust afterwards as I, you know, as I go along. I'm not sure if you can see the arrows or not. Can you see the arrows, Kiwi?
No, I have all my UI and everything turned off right now for the video.
Okay, all right, not a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna lay the couch down. Our first sack, and I'm going to size it, and then I am going to just rotate it just a little bit, you know, get it to where I want to start, you know, my first positioning. Then I'm going to hit my Control D key, and I'm going to make a copy of it, and I'm going to lay it in to where the sack tie is now not showing. And I'm going to do it one more time. Now, at this time, I do not use Dimension Toolbox. That is something in the future that I do plan on learning how to make. Now, after I get my two cushions in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the left one so that the two ties are facing each other but hidden. Kind of gives it more of a plushy cushiness. And I'm going to take a copy of that one I just did, and I'm going to make it again. Once I have the whole thing put together, I'm going to, you know, look around. When you're building, especially with object morphing, you want to make sure that you look at your item on which you're building at all angles and directions. It's extremely important that you do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a quick look around. Now from the front, my cushions look straight, but when I tilt my camera around to the other side, I can see the last one that I just placed is off center. So I'm going to go ahead and move that now. And there we go. Now that I have the seat of my cushion done, I'm going to shift click and I'm going to select all 4 items. Once I do that, I can then raise the cushions up a little bit. There we go, perfect. Now to do the back of the couch. There's many different ways that you can do your back of your couch. You can do them straight, you can angle it, you can make it big and puffy, you can use multiples, whichever you want. Now normally when I do the backs of the couches, I always use my burlap sacks a little bit larger. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one. I've got it laid down behind there, as you can see. And I'm going to rotate it around. And then I am going to bring it up. And just push it into your bottom of your seat. You know, kind of give it more of like a cushy feeling. Now I'm going to Control D and I'm going to copy that.
I've learned something today already. I didn't know about the shift click, so I'm excited.
Now when I'm making the back of my couch, I usually like to overlap the cushions, kind of give it more of that pillowy effect. And you can play around with your cushions in the back as well. You can layer them if you want to. You can, you know, do whatever. You know, it's your design and have fun with it. That's the whole point of Dimensions, is to have fun. Okay, there we go. Now, the trick that I use to do the arms of the chairs is I use the same cushions, and I'm going to use the Control D, and I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to use the feature again, and I'm going to put one over on the other side. Now, if you notice, because we angled the back of the cushions, we can actually rotate it so that angle fits in just perfect with the arms of your couch. So if you rotate it the right direction, you'll be able to get that same effect. I usually make the arms a lot larger. Oh, I seem to have rotated the wrong way. And you just play around with it until you get it the way you want it. Now, my little trick for at the bottom, if you notice, because we raise it up, is I take a wooden plank and I put the wooden plank at the bottom to be able to hide it and make it look like the base of the couch. So I'm going to set my plank down and I'm going to rotate it. And then I'm going to bring it larger. Bring it up to the size of what you think. You know, first iron it out and, you know, a general idea, and then tilt it up.
So with a lot of morphing that goes on, you'll find that you make something and then you end up putting something in place to make it a little bit more tidy or a little bit more prettier, don't you?
Yes, all the time. That's definitely a very big thing that I end up doing. I always try to hide like little edges, corners, and things like that, or, you know, even to try and give things, you know, a more realistic feel.
Looks great.
Now I'm just going to tidy up the couch a bit.
So this is the fun part for me with morphing, when you're trying and playing with certain objects and testing how big they go, how small they go, what angles you can have them on, what they look like upside down, flat, all of it. This is the fun part about morphing. But what I love about Lollypop's work is she's so great at really making things fit. She has a lot more patience for that than I do. So I appreciate going into your dimensions and seeing the little bit of effort that you extra effort that you put in to make sure things line up properly and that they suit each other to the T. And there's a lot of stuff you put together that don't have any lines or aren't at any wonky heights or angles. So I really love how you do that.
Practice makes perfect. That's all I can say. I didn't just come into a dimension and just boom, all of a sudden I could do something. It took me a lot of hours and a lot of patience and a lot of tearing things down and pulling things up, to finally get something that, I like and I enjoy. Now, as far as cushions go, there are many different variations that I've seen Dimensioneers use for cushions. I'll show you a couple of different variations. You can get the pink urn, is what it's called. You can buy it in Tempest Bay from one of the vendors. It's actually extremely cheap, about 15 gold. And I'm going to take this urn and I'm going to rotate it. I always try to do my rotatings before I start lifting things up, depending on the size of the item. If you want to make something smaller, make sure you bring it up in the air first. That way when it shrinks down, you don't lose it underneath your terrain. And I'm going to use my control click and I'm going to put one on the other side. And then I'm just going to use the rotate, and I'm going to rotate with the green circle, which is my left to right.
Now this is the first time for us doing this. Unfortunately, Lollypop plays on a toaster, so she's unable to do the video, so I will be with her and supporting her morphing projects, but you can't see her XY axis or her rotation as well, but the picture is very clear and we're still getting a great idea of how you're doing things, and the way that you're leading us through it is awesome also.
Wonderful. Okay, as you can see, this is one variation of being able to do a couch with the cushions. Now, my signature is something a little different, and I'm going to show you guys my secret. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up the pink urns. And I use the red dragon scales is what I use for my couches. I love the color, I love the texturing that it gives, and I love the shape.
These red dragon scales I've seen used for a lot of things, but yours were the first place that I've seen them used as cushions, and I do love the shape, and it gave a lot of ideas for a lot of other things, which is the other fun thing about morphing. You start playing with things and you start getting ideas for a lot of other stuff. That's what makes it exciting.
Again, I use the control click feature, and I'm just going to rotate it the other way. And then I'm just going to pull it out. And you can tinker and, and adjust and get everything as perfect and as even as you would like. Because I'm trying, we are short on time. Everything is not as perfect, as I normally try to make it.
That looks fantastic.
And as you see, I put some pink ground cover down, kind of like a little area rug. And let's go ahead and magically make a table appear right there. And now I have a nice comfortable spot to sit in the afternoon with my friends on my patio.
And that was our first Morphing Monday project at Rift Dream Dimensions. It was great and it's a lot of fun. If you're wondering why we're doing it from a place with water, we have another project that will be opening really soon that we look forward to sharing with people. And like I said at the beginning of this, if you are after something in particular, if you would like to see us do something, if you would like us to interview you and come and see your dimension because you think it's extraordinary or you know somebody's that is, please www.riftdreamdimensions.com. Drop us a line or contact Lollypop at Greybriar or Kiwi Midget at Lathis and we'll have a chat to you and get to know you. Lollypop, that was awesome. You rock.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
See you later.